All right. Hey guys, daskro here again, doing our player feature for the Championship Gaming League APA draft. At this time we have Nexus Keyser. Oh, and excuse me, I gotta fight this guy. I'm doing this in real time, so if I die, that's the reason why. Nonetheless, though, Keyser's with me right now, so Keyser, say hello.
What's up? What's going on?
So Keyser, for those that don't know, is one of the team leaders for Team Nexus, and he's one of the team captains for this CGL APA Draft League. And for those that don't know about the APA Draft League, it's a league in which players can sign up as free agents, and then various team captains, Keyser included, get to select those players to create a draft team that will compete over a short 4-week-long match format. And it's a lot of fun, APA Conquest style, pretty cool. I'm signed up as well, although I'm not a team captain. I'm really looking forward to it. But enough about me. Keyser, what are your thoughts on the CGL APA Draft League?
Well, I want to know what you're going to do to make me draft you, daskro.
I don't know. I mean, for those that follow the CGL forums, I am one of the best bangs for your buck if you want to spend your draft points on me, since I have so much tanking experience. I don't know if I necessarily agree with all that. I think I'm a bit rusty compared to some of these other tanker heavyweights out there. But I don't know. Maybe you select me. I don't know if you want to spend your points wisely or unwisely.
Fair enough. No, I think the draft league's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to actually playing with some different people, and not that I don't love Nexus and all, but I very well may try to draft several of them if possible. I think there's some rule against that. I believe I can only draft 2 of them or something. But no, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna introduce a lot of new players to sort of high-end competitive play. When basically right now, I think there are a couple of teams who really sort of know how the game works, and then there's a lot of teams who really don't know what they're doing. And I think being able to sort of disseminate that knowledge is gonna be pretty useful for the community. And I just died. Sad.
That's all right. How long have you been playing competitively?
Well, so I've probably been involved with competitive gaming for about 8 or 9 years, but I pretty much took college off, so I was gone for about 3 or 4 years. Basically, between Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 3, I was completely uninvolved, save like a breath of air in 2142.
Now, one of the things that the guys that are watching this video will notice is that as you're talking, as I'm talking, there's a bunch of clicking going on, and that's because both of us run mechanical keyboards. Why mechanical keyboards?
Faster response time. I don't know if it's mostly psychological for me, but I do think I get a marginal advantage with the fact that mechanical keyboard is going to be faster to react to your key presses than a standard membrane keyboard, as most people have. They're also, I don't know, they're just satisfying when you kill something and you feel that hard click beneath your fingers.
I tend to agree with you. I really enjoy them as well. I mean, maybe they are, the Nikes of the competitive gaming world, but I do feel like that they are better.
Yeah, it's unclear to me how much of an advantage these things actually give. I would say the biggest accessory I have that really helps me get an advantage in the competition is the 120 Hz monitor.
Yeah, and I also run that as well, although when I record, I'm only doing about 70 or 80, and so it's not nearly as good, but I am upgrading my video card, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I just got a GTS 680, so they're pretty fun. And I don't really drop below 120 much, if at all. Although I did just switch back to 1080p for the first time in a long time. I was running on 1280 by 720 for the longest time. And now I'm sort of enjoying watching the game in pretty mode again.
Yeah, pretty mode. I like that, and I'm not getting a good kill streak here. What was the first games that you started playing competitively, either before college or after?
Before college, I started by playing way back when I played Rogue Spear, but I was pretty young at that time. And then I really sort of getting into competitive gaming with Counter-Strike, and then really sort of getting into it with Battlefield Vietnam. I skipped the BF-42 scene, although I understand it was pretty good.
What did you like about BF Vietnam?
Battlefield Vietnam, I think, had awesome hit registration and some of the best map design that Battlefield's ever seen. I really wish they would take maps like, if they could bring like Ho Chi Minh Trail or Quang 368 and bring those into Battlefield 3, I would be in heaven. Because I think that one of the biggest problems with Battlefield 3 is map design. I think map design in Battlefield 3 is pretty bad on the whole.
Do you think it's just too linear, or do you think they just didn't put enough effort into it, or what do you think?
I think the maps just have these weird extremes. Like some of them are very linear, like Metro's extreme linear, but I think Metro's actually probably one of the better maps. There is just a lot of problem, I think, with balance for one on some map. And some maps are just, they have too much going on. Like, I hate canals because of all the different vehicles and things that are going on. I feel like it takes away completely from infantry play. And I feel like they tend to penalize teams for one mistake that can completely break the course of the game. That being said, you know, we just got to be forced to adapt, and for the most part, Nexus has done that pretty well.
As you've played this game over time, have there been certain things that have been significant in terms of the adaptations you've made, you know, be it to how people play tactically or new strategies that have come up in Battlefield 3 or in other games, perhaps?
Well, the 1.1 patch was a huge change. It completely changed how I played infantry in this game. I used to be an extraordinarily aggressive player, always basically running to try to mow down, you know, as many people as I could, but you can't Rambo anymore in this game. Not really. It's the suppression and the way those mechanic works, especially with how dominant head glitching is now. And for those of you who don't know, head glitching is basically your character model is actually a little shorter than what you can view. So you can actually shoot someone else above a ledge before they can see your face. So it's made it a very defensive game in that way. I really wish they'd fix some of those things, like head glitching is just a bug and should be patched out of the game, and hopefully it will. And I think that I did get an opportunity at PAX East, which is the Penny Arcade Expo, to play Battlefield Close Quarters, the next upcoming DLC, and suppression was thankfully reduced quite a bit. But I personally, I almost wish they would scrap the game mechanic altogether, but that's a pipe dream.
So you have mixed feelings then about suppression.
Oh, I think suppression is it makes the skill cap lower in these games. It makes it so that it's harder to distinguish yourself as someone who's extremely good aim. And it just makes it a race of who can throw bullets vaguely at a target first, rather than placing them directly on someone's head.
That makes sense. Does so of the popular Battlefield competitive formats out there, 8v8 Conquest, 44 Squad Rush, 5v5 Infantry Conquest, are there any ones in particular that you prefer over others, and why is that?
I think 5v5 is tons of fun, but not on every map. 5v5 Conquest is really enjoyable. 4v4 I think would be even better with the addition of some sort of round timer. I like 4v4, but it can drag quite a bit, especially when teams are playing extremely slow. You'll notice that we have two teams at Nexus. We have Nexus BF3 and Nexus Dart, our second team that formed. I'm not going to call them a B team in order to not anger our other members, but and they're not. But I do like to, you know, jab them a little bit. They're very good. We're actually playing them this week on CGL. We're gonna have a good match, so hopefully that one will be streamed. But I enjoy 4v4 a lot. I think it's just a problem is teams get very passive. We tend to play a pretty aggressive game, and a lot of teams that play against us will have 15-20 minute assaults where we're just waiting for someone to come around. But that being said, when the game is running really well, it can be a lot of fun.
I see that. Now, going back to the map design question, are there what's your view on maps that are explicitly one-sided? The maps that clearly there's a better side and a worse side, and that is by design.
Do you think do I think it's by design that they're better that way?
No. I mean, what are your thoughts on maps that are by design imbalanced for one side or the other?
They're unpleasant to play. Like, I would say that, for example, Metro is a fairly unbalanced map. Once you push them one direction or another, it's very hard when you're pushing up out of the sort of underground Metro rather than pushing down into it, to do so if they have good positions up top, especially in 8v8. It's different in 4v4. But I think that it's annoying to play them, but at the same time, it's sort of one of those traditional wars in Battlefield of win by more tickets and then get to choose the right side at the end, which has been true on a number of Battlefield maps and across a number of titles.
Going back to the Close Quarters DLC coming out, since you mentioned you did play it at PAX, what were your impressions of it? Were there things that you're looking forward to, or things that you're not looking forward to about it?
I'm looking forward to the fact that it seems like it's going to be a large patch to reduce suppression and hopefully fix some of the other issues with the game. I thought I only got to play one map, and granted it was a very early sort of beta alpha version of the game. In fact, on one side a very large block of orange text going across my screen the entire game, which made it quite difficult. But that being said, I thought the map was almost too small. It might have been a little too close quarters. But I'm really looking forward to what they can do with other maps and see how that sort of evolves the game and see how reduction in suppression really can make some different creative strategies possible, especially in 88.
That sounds good. Going back to CGL 8v8, are there any players that you're looking for specifically, or types of players generally, as this draft unveils itself and you and the other team captains start choosing?
Smart people who can shoot. Basically, 8v8 is a game that's all about coordination. I think I'm largely going to be skeptical of players who only have 4v4 experience. Like, for example, on Nexus himself, right? Supcom is a fantastic shot who is a absolute terror in 4v4. But he's played for Nexus Dark, our second team. But at the same time, he had little to no 8v8 experience. So I'm extremely wary of drafting someone like that, because I don't think that it's going to be easy to teach an entirely new team all new tricks and have it work out. I think it's going to be easier to have some teams who have a basic sort of baseline of knowledge and then work away from that. And I'm going to be wary of drafting players who are just 4v4 before I'm sure that as we get into later rounds, that's going to happen, and it's going to, players like those are definitely going to get drafted, especially about players who, there's a lot of players that, frankly, I don't know. Especially given that I, as a member of the community, have, always been around several people, but I'm not one to be posting on YouTube and, be doing a million different things with sort of PR relations. I'm not that well connected. I sort of just stick to who I know, and I play, and we do what we can to win at the high levels. But I think drafting those sort of players who aren't seasoned in 8v8 already is going to be a risk, and it's something that is going to come back to bite at least one team.
And that's one of the biggest things that I noticed about the free agents is that while there's quite a few free agents out there that are sort of hot commodities, there's a number of people who have signed up that essentially have very low score attributed to them or no score at all. And one has to wonder how many of those players actually do have quite a bit of raw talent, if you will.
I'm sure. And that's actually a great point. I think that this is going to be a way for some teams to discover newly talented people. I mean, it could be after the 8v8 draft, there could be a little bit of a scramble among some of the top teams to pick some of these people up, especially if they distinguish themselves. I mean, I think it's Battlefield 3. There's more people playing Battlefield 3 right now than ever played Battlefield 2. But I'll tell you right now, it seems to me that the competition was at a higher level in BF2. And I think the reason for that is not because of a lack of good players. It's simply because there are only a couple people sort of playing the competitive community. I think events like the draft we're having right now, and the fact that we're going to be seeing the rollout of the EA Sport, the EA sort of esports rollout for Battlefield 3 and matchmaking services, I'm hoping will bring new players in the fold and ultimately make the entire format much more competitive.
I think that you said it very well. Is one last question, which is, if you had any suggestions for those that are playing in an 8v8 draft league, or this is the first time they're really competing in competitive play, or alternatively they're interested in playing it, be it in this or Project PTFO, which is the 44 squad rush sort of draft competition, what would be the one suggestion that you have for new players just getting into playing in organized match play?
I would say don't come in with a big ego. Don't think you're going to immediately come and tear it up, and do not rage quit your team. If people actually start people start just leaving teams in this game, it's going to ruin the competition. I'm really hoping that there's a pretty strong norm against that you have to stick it out at least. And listen to people who've been there before, because they're going to be able to help you better quickly.
I love that comment, because that's, you know, teamwork is so important within Battlefield, and that's one of the things that really differentiates it from other games. Is that while aim is important, it's about coordinating and communicating and executing ideas and strategies with your team, and that's what really separates good teams from great teams.
Definitely, I agree. Like teamwork is everything, and teamwork, especially being able to in AP8, you're not only dealing with other players like you are in Squad Rush, but you're dealing with vehicles and tanks and APCs and all manner of different ways of attacking a given point, and being able to do that effectively without sort of. I'm missing this guy again and again. I'm trying to talk and shoot at the same time. Should have a much better TDR than I do, but it's alright. I think being able to sort of mix and match all the strategies is something that the top level Battlefield teams have been able to do, and hopefully show more people how to do it.
All right, well, Keyser, I want to thank you for talking with me briefly about this. We're not going to end it just yet. I want to finish this round and try to win this for the team. But is there any closing thoughts that you have before we just start publishing?
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I really hope that right now, I think the key things that's going to be important for the title going forward is EA really listening to the actual competitive community a little bit, and just either allowing us in future titles to mod the game, or simply, you know, listening when we say things like suppression is wildly overpowered, and, you know, making adjustments to suit us. Because I think otherwise, as a competitive community, I think that people will eventually go to another game. There are other markets right now trying to capture attention. Like, I was talking to high-res devs about Tribes when I was at PAX, and they were looking to put out a product that would, you know, really suit competitive gameplay. And eventually some other developer's going to do that and take that market from EA. And now maybe they don't care, but, you know, I hope they do, because I think it's a lot of fun. Like, competitive play, the reason I do it rather than pubbing is because, simply put, like, actual teamwork is what Battlefield is supposed to be about, and actual teamwork pretty much only happens in competitive play. Teamwork on pub is just a shadow of what it should be. Or what it can be, rather.
All right. Well, I totally agree with that, but I'm going to cut this short right now. We only got a few tickets left. We're losing. I want to win this round, so let's just end this interview right now. I'm still going to keep on recording and just play it out, and hopefully we can get this win.
Okay. I gotta beat this Da Vinci character.
Oh, yeah. He's on my my battle log list, actually.
I've killed him like a number of times.
Yeah,
he needs to.
He and I keep on trading. I don't remember. I don't remember what team he was on.
C9, Cryo 9.
Yeah, he's in C9. That's right. That's right. Son of a gun! Did we lose this?
Ruin.
Yeah! All right. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we're going to call this...
Probably beaten by one kill. Nonsense.
All right.